I think I would tell myself to just overlook the fear of something and just do it anyway so that I could build on confidence when I was a teenager. Designing, say, for example, a brand identity, and then you want to show that off because you want to show people what you've worked on because it might be something that they're interested in or in need of now or in the future. But design is really subjective, isn't it? And it makes you feel quite vulnerable when you start sharing your work because you automatically think, what if nobody likes it? What if somebody criticizes it? What if somebody tells me it's terrible and I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing?
Hello, before today's episode, I wanted to let you know about the Creatives Like Us event, which is happening on June 19th, 2025. Creatives Like Us is a collaborative knowledge sharing and networking event for Black/Brown creatives who run their own businesses. And here's what our first attendees said about our first sold out event in February this year. They were inspired and they felt that they genuinely wanted everyone in the room to succeed and navigate their own success journeys well. Another one said, brilliant, one of the best networking events I've been to. As a creative introvert, it really does show that not all networking has to look a certain way. And you just need to find spaces that are for me, for creatives like us. I love that one. Thank you. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know that the tickets are now available. You can go to www.creativeslikeusevent.abbasmarketing.com or easier, search for us on Eventbrite. Search for Creatives Like Us. Actually, both of them are going to be in the show notes. So I hope to see you there. And if you've got any questions, please DM me. Again, the information how to contact me is in the show notes. And so we'd love to see you at the Creatives Like Us event, part 2, us two in Shoreditch in London. And that's in June 19th. But as I said, it is ticketed and we have a limited amount of tickets. So we'd love to see you there. So that's it from me for now. Let's get into the episode. Hello and welcome to Creatives Like Us, where I speak with creatives of colour who share journeys and stories and ideas and how they can inspire and open up avenues in creative industries. I'm your host, graphic designer Angela Lyons, and with the help of my guests, I will bring you insightful interviews and compelling stories that can inspire you to think about things differently or shape your next move. Being a creative of colour can bring its challenges, highs and lows and in-betweens. But this podcast is about amplifying our voices and celebrating together. So, are you ready? Let's get started with Creatives Like Us. Hello and welcome to Creatives Like Us. And today I'm with Bhavini and I'm really excited to talk to her. She's a graphic designer, but I'll let her tell you about what she does and who she is. So Bhavini, over to you.
Hello, I'm Bhavini. I'm a graphic designer and I love working on brand identities and print design. So magazines, brochures, some exhibition graphics and business stationery.
Brilliant. Thank you. And I'd love to know how you actually got started with everything and your business, because you have been a graphic designer for a few years now. Is that right? And you've got your own business now. So how did it all start? How did you start with your graphic design career?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you like a very short version of that history. When I was little, at nursery, we got given statues of Peter Rabbit to colour in, and I coloured mine in every paint colour you can imagine and took it home and proudly showed it to my mum. I was like, look what I've done. And a week later, she painted over it in white. I was like,
Sorry, I have to say, that sounds tragic.
Yeah, I know, it's stayed with me. And for years, this rabbit statue was in this display cabinet, right? But my love for colour didn't go. And I think that was my earliest memory of bold, bright colours and creating something. And I think from then it's just grown. I went to uni and studied visual comms, stroke graphic design. And then I got started working at a local boutique agency in Milton Keynes. After I left that agency, I moved to London. It was this whole, I want to work in central London. I want to go to work on the tube because it's cool. It wasn't cool. It was very hot and very annoying after about a week, but I did it. And I did some maternity cover for a recruitment agency and I was in their marketing department and I was doing all the design work. So I did that for 18 months and then the person that I was covering for came back. So I moved on to another job where I was an in-house designer for an SEO agency. And then I fell pregnant. And when I was due to go back after my first mat leave finished, I found out that my design role was no longer available. I
No.
did get offered a web design role or
Hmm.
voluntary redundancy, and I don't like web design. I've spoken to you about this before.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's not something that interests me. So I took the voluntary redundancy in 2011. It was October 2011, and I've been freelancing since.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I love the
Yeah.
fact that you actually said, I've got offered another role, but that wasn't me at all. Because some people might have felt
Sure.
like they might have, because you've been made redundant, think, oh my God, I just need to get a job, anything, I'll just take
Yeah.
anything. But you knew that wasn't for you. And you have the love of, I've looked at your portfolio and obviously I'll link the show notes in there, but you have a love of prints. And I can see that
Yeah.
in your work and your
Exactly.
branding work. I can tell that you actually love being quite tactile with paper and
Yeah.
putting your
Yeah.
bold colours out and just
This
anything
is
around
it.
paper, really, I think. And
Yeah.
that's where you shine in your design. Whereas it could have been quite easy to go and say, oh, yeah, I'll just have a web design job. Not just a web design job, because we know it's important, but just to have that job just to be
Yeah.
secure.
It
Yeah.
really could have, especially when you've got a 1-year-old, right? And your daughter starts nursery and you've got to pay your nursery fees. And so my idea was I'll freelance for a few weeks, maybe a few months, and I'll find a design role closer to home. But the more I took on freelance work, the job hunting kind of took a back seat until I realized actually I could make this work.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny actually when we
Mm.
say about freelancing, because freelancing is a business, isn't it? And that you've already created your
Yes.
business and you don't even know you're
Yeah.
doing it. And even now
Yeah.
we still say freelancing. I mean, I call myself a freelancer of a business because we do have businesses, don't we? And
Mhm.
you're
Yeah. Yeah.
already creating it.
Yeah. And it's something that I never, ever, ever wanted to do because I wanted that. I want a stable paycheck. I want to
Mhm.
go to work and I want to leave work and I don't want to think about work. You know, that's not how freelancing works, right?
Oh, I was doing some content, like planning my marketing for the week on Sunday because that was the only time that I had to do it. And then obviously
Exactly.
people can build things into their schedules, but I know that Sunday afternoon is when I'm quiet.
And equally, you can take time off during the week if you need to, right? Because you've got to go to that nativity, you've got to go to that sports day. There's an event on at school where the teachers have said that you can come and read with your child at lunchtime or you can come and have lunch with them. You don't want to miss out on that, right?
Yeah. Precious moments, definitely. Yeah, you don't want to miss out
Yeah.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you up to now? I'd love to know, what projects are you working on?
I'm working on now. I've got one retainer client that I've been working with for about 12 months, maybe just over 12 months. And it started off as designing a presentation. And it then went from that into designing a journal and a book, supporting merch for the book launch. And now every month I'm working on them to create their course graphics and supporting material for their course that they've launched online.
Brilliant.
I'm also working on some branding and presentation design for a new client who's launching a community interest company, and they're researchers who work with the University of Plymouth.
Oh,
Plymouth,
brilliant.
Portsmouth.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm doing some work with them, and I'm also working on some guides for the Association of Chairs. They're the Association of Chairs, so they're the body that look after chairs, charities. Does
Right,
that make
right.
sense?
Hmm.
So I'm
Hmm.
working on a few sort of typesetting of guides and documents for them. And I'm
Hmm.
also working with Aylesbury Grammar School on their research journal that they do every year, which I then typeset and have printed and delivered to them.
Wow. Do you get to choose the
Yeah.
paper and the stock, or do you get to choose all that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the fun bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you get the paper samples
That
come through.
is, yeah. And the best bit is when the client gets it and they open the box and they go, "Oh God, I love the finish of that cover."
Yeah, yeah. And you've decided that. Yeah,
You've decided that. You know you've made the right decision. And
yeah.
yeah, I love that.
So can you imagine if you became a web designer, you would not have that feeling?
No, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Yeah. It was hard enough trying to get my own website done in Squarespace, which I did and got a lot of support from some members in the freelance community, you included. I wouldn't want to do that for anyone else, because although I enjoyed doing my own website, it's not a service I'd enjoy offering.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I could tell by your face when you were describing the print jobs that you were like, I totally love my print and I still want to work in print.
Absolutely.
So I'm not doing anything. So great how that one project has led into other projects for you and carried on working for a year with it. So that's just testament to you and your good design and your personality. So well done.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
My other question was, because of the nature of the podcast, it'd just be interesting to find out if there's any ways or stories that you've had that you could help maybe listeners or graduates that are coming through, that if there have been any barriers, if you've overcome anything being a person of colour, or have you been, there not necessarily has to be anything.
I think I've been really lucky. I've never had any barriers because of my background or the colour of my skin or anything like that. There are so many other barriers, I think, when it comes to design, and you've probably come across some of these. People don't necessarily understand things like copyright, things like not being able to use images that you found on Google. There are so many other things. That's the one thing that comes to the top of my head.
Yeah, font usage too, things like that.
Oh my God, that as well, yeah. I'm really lucky. I feel like those are the only kind of barriers that I've come across.
Yeah. No, it's good to know, because I think some people will think, obviously, listening to the podcast and thinking that we've always had some sort of pain or obstacles or something along the way. But it's good to know that you've not had that experience. So that's really good to hear. That's really nice to hear.
I
hope it continues like that. Yeah,
I hope so too. There might be people who have decided they don't want to work with me for whatever reason. They don't like me. They don't think I'm the right designer for them. Well, you never know, right? Luckily, race has never been an issue that I know of.
Yeah. Do you know what? It could be the actual opposite of that too. It could have been like people might have said, I might want to work for her because that, with Bhavini, because of, who she is. She's a woman of colour, and that, but they would never tell you that. But it's good that
that's really interesting, isn't it? You're right. They would never tell you that.
Yeah. No. I think that must have happened to me a few times, again, in certain places. I've had both, to be honest with you. But I think also it could work in my favour. Yeah. I've turned up to interviews and people just like literally look at me up and down and say, who are you, kind of thing. And that look.
It's
and
terrible.
I know I'd never hear from them again. But then on the other side, I think also, I reckon I might have just filled that quota for them. That's more so, I'd say, I reckon maybe in full-time jobs. Because freelancing now, they can see you from what you're like on LinkedIn. And
absolutely.
Maybe even now that they might have had to fill a certain quota in their CSR, all that sort of, or the diversity and inclusion. But yeah, they know what you are and they know who you are.
Yeah. And they choose to work with you because you're an awesome designer. Right?
Wow. This could be it. Let's hope it is.
So. Yeah,
we've both been in business. How long now? How long have you been in business now? Is it? So I've been 12. So I think that we're doing something all right for 12 and 13 years.
We must be. Yes,
exactly.
We must be.
You're right. We're awesome designers. We're bigging ourselves up here.
We are.
I'd love to know also what you'd love to do next, like your future projects, your dream projects. Is there anyone that you would love to work with?
Do you know what? This is going to sound really cheesy, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think I'm working on projects that I would have loved to have worked on, like, say, this time 12 months ago. And I'm already working on those. Yeah.
Brilliant.
The only thing I would add to that is that I would love to do some more branding work. I've done more editorial and layout work over the last few months, and I would absolutely love to get a few more branding projects coming in, and not just the branding sort of, I just need a logo. I don't do that anymore, but
oh my
gosh, I need a logo.
I don't want to hear that one, do we? I just need a logo, thanks.
I just need a logo. Or I just need a logo that looks like this one that I've seen already.
Oh gosh. We've had that before.
I want to do, I want to do branding work that's, got a bit of strategy behind it. It's got a full colour palette, typography, style guides, things like that.
So my question is, how would you get those kind of projects, or how would you go about them? How do they normally come to you? Just thinking about people listening and maybe
referrals,
starting out their business. Is it referrals?
A lot of the work that I've done this year, actually since I started freelancing, it's all been referrals. people recommend me to their friends, family, people who have got their own businesses. LinkedIn as well, which is why I need to get a bit more consistent on it again. But I've had a few clients come in from just regularly showing my work on LinkedIn, talking on LinkedIn, and sharing knowledge and things like that. So yeah, those two, LinkedIn and word of mouth.
It's interesting with LinkedIn because I was reading a stat 'cause I'm just about to do a presentation talking about brand consistency, and I was looking up some stats, and it said there are, I think it was 1 billion users now, 1 billion users
Wow.
on LinkedIn worldwide, and only
Yeah.
5% of those users are active posters that actually post content on
Wow.
LinkedIn. 5%. So can you imagine if you want more branding projects, Bhavini? I'm saying
You
this for
need to
me
get
too.
consistent. Yeah.
We need to get consistent
LinkedIn.
and then LinkedIn and like start sharing
Yeah.
content because the
Mm.
reach there is massive. And obviously, I don't know if hashtags work as much. I know there's always these things about people saying they work and they don't work.
Mm.
Algorithms change all the time, but just keep sharing on LinkedIn.
Just keep
It
going,
seems to
right?
be, yeah, just keep
Yeah.
going on there. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's one
And
of those places that are
I
very
think you're
useful.
right. And I think it can get very hard to keep going when you kind of think, oh, nobody's liked this post or commented. But people lurk, don't they? They scroll by, they read your post. You might get in touch in 6 months' time. You never know, do you?
Or pass you on to someone in 6 months'
Yeah,
time.
this is
I've
it.
had that
Yeah.
before.
Wow.
It's mad, isn't it, when you think about it? Because you
It
think,
is.
oh, am I just throwing stuff out on this platform when no one's really, yeah, you get the likes or you get,
I
a
know,
few
right?
comments every now
Yeah.
and again. But
Yeah.
I have had somebody come back to me and say, I know that you like, but I'm sure you've had this too. You like colour. We both like colour. No, you use a lot of colour, or I'd like my branding to look like that. You've had that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's the place to show up, isn't it? You
It
definitely
is.
got to
It
put them all there.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
really
also, I'd
is.
say also, if you are on LinkedIn, just again for the listeners, maybe I'll do a solo episode one by myself actually on LinkedIn and get some people talking about LinkedIn and
Yeah.
showing your work because I think, as I said, a lot of people don't post on there, but there's also the space to do put your insights in the comment boxes, and obviously people
Yes.
see that, the lurkers see that, don't they?
Yes. That is so true. It's very easy to forget about that one, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So that might be another place where I
Mm.
suppose we invest a little bit of time. Not long, because otherwise you'll just stay on LinkedIn all day and then your life will be
Yep.
sucked deep in the drain. Or Instagram is
Yep.
another one. Do you use Instagram? Do you
Oh,
use any other
I
social media
do.
platforms?
I
Use
do.
Instagram, don't
I,
you?
I use Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Facebook probably the least. But I love Instagram for stories and being able to give a little sort of behind the scenes look at life,
Yeah.
because I
Hmm.
find that there are so many amazing designers out there, and I find that the people who work with me all say they work with me because I got along with them, or I had something in common with them, or they liked my personality. And I think Instagram is a really, really good place to be able to show off a little bit of your personality, or
Yeah.
as Lucy says, show a bit of ankle, right?
Show a bit of ankle. And the Lucy we're referring to is Lucy Werner from Hype Yourself and Brand Yourself.
Self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah, because Lucy always says, doesn't she, show a little bit of ankle. You
Yeah.
don't need to
Yeah.
show your whole
You
body,
show
but
everything. No.
you have to show everything. But
A
you're pretty
little
good.
glimpse.
Yeah, and I follow you on Instagram, obviously, and I've seen your stories, and I love, and I'll DM you or something and say, "Oh, how are the buddies?" Like, because I know you've got buddies,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Yeah.
honestly, I've known other people to post stuff on their stories. Maybe they've got I think one of our friends has got a dog, and they posted something about their dog on there, and then they found a potential client because that potential client had the same breed of dog. So it was just
Isn't that amazing?
how is this like? So stories, I think, are really
Yeah.
undervalued.
Yeah.
Another place in social media where we can sell ourselves and talk about our work and share
Exactly.
insights too. So, Bhavini, how do you show up and show off and tell people about yourself?
I'm going to start by saying I am terrible at showing off. It's really hard, I think, when you're designing, say, for example, a brand identity, and then you want to show that off because you want to show people what you've worked on, because it might be something that they're interested in or in need of now or in the future. But design is really subjective, isn't it? And it makes you feel quite vulnerable when you start sharing your work, because you automatically think, what if nobody likes it? What if somebody criticizes it? What if somebody tells me it's terrible and I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing? So I'm very bad at showing off, and I know I need to get better at it, because when I am in the right frame of mind of showing off my work, the marketing works, the clients start coming in. And then when you stop, because you're feeling insecure about it, clients aren't going to see what you can offer them, are they?
Exactly.
No. So showing off is something I am very, very bad at. Showing up, I don't know how good I am at that either, to be honest. I like saying, well, okay, I don't like saying yes to things that make me nervous, but I make myself say yes, because I know that actually in the moment, so for example, this podcast, I knew I wanted to do it, but the thought of it was making me feel a bit nervous. But I said yes because it was out of my comfort zone, because it was you, and because I wanted to do something that challenged me.
I'm so glad you're
Yeah.
here, Bhavini. Honestly,
Me
I am
too.
I'm loving it that we're talking like this, and I
Oh,
hope the
me
listeners
too.
really like it too, because I think also I've interviewed a few people, and some of them have got massive followings online. They've got loads of
Yeah.
followers, and they are they're doing all right, and
Yeah.
they're very confident in their speaking, and then sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. I see you online. I think you're very confident, but when you talk to you
Oh God,
one to
no.
one, I get that, and then I think,
Yeah.
but you don't come across like that at all. So I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're speaking to me and
Thank
showing up.
you.
Yeah, and show off a little bit. Tell people a bit more about yourself. I was
Yeah.
going to come back to the content thing and showing off work. I don't know if this will work for you, but what I found recently is that I've started scheduling my content. And then when I schedule it, sometimes I actually forget that I've scheduled it. I know I'm meant to go back in
Okay.
and comment and all of that stuff, which is
Yeah.
great. And you've got those, if people comment on your work.
Yeah.
But I've started scheduling, so I just think, okay, I'm just going to put this out there and then not really think
Yeah.
about it. And
Okay.
sometimes
Yeah,
that
that
really
makes
does
sense.
work. So I'd say maybe think about that if you're feeling nervous about
Yeah, that's a
showing your
good
work
idea.
again. Just schedule it and
Yeah.
just see what happens. You might feel more comfortable about that.
Yeah. Might
The
try
thing is,
that.
when you do share your work, it's brilliant and we all love it. So you just need
Oh,
to,
thank you. I
oh,
guess
brilliant.
it's that self-talk, isn't it? I guess what you tell yourself in your head, because you overthink everything, and then you tell yourself stuff that isn't necessarily true, and nothing is ever as terrible as you tell yourself it's going to be anyway, is it?
Exactly. And nothing's bad's going to happen out of it. And the thing is, the actual opposite's
No.
happened. You've got brilliant clients. You've got your dream clients that you're working with now. So you can shout
Yeah.
a bit more about
Yeah.
that,
And
isn't it?
if somebody doesn't like the work, doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the client was happy with it,
The client is not
right?
paying you and paying that invoice
Yeah,
and loving
exactly.
it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's all these, just got to keep on telling myself this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the confidence that just keep on telling
Yeah.
ourselves this. Yeah. We all go through
Yeah.
it. I'm going to ask you a question, more of a personal thing about when you were younger. And
Yeah.
what would you tell your teenage self? Say, for example, I don't know what teenage, like if you're 14, 15, so just before GCSE age, what would you tell yourself about where you are right now? Or how would you speak to yourself in the future?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think I would tell myself to just overlook the fear of something and just do it anyway, so that I could build on confidence when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so much harder to do now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So much harder. But yeah, and I feel like I potentially would be a bit more confident in my decision making, in my showing off and showing up, if I could tell myself that.
Yeah, brilliant. So I'm going to say again, I'm going to ask you some quick fire, fun in 5 questions. So you're going to have to answer. So far, actually, it's funny enough, I've just got to say this because sometimes when I say to people this or that, they're like, oh no. So I'm thinking maybe you might just just say it. But if not, if you want to discuss,
right.
happy to
Let's
discuss.
see.
We'll start off. Crisp or chocolates?
Chocolates.
Beach or forest?
Forest.
You're my first forest. Book or Kindle?
Book.
Reggae or soul?
Reggae.
Patty or sandwich?
Sandwich.
I could see this. It's like, I don't know. Can I have both?
If I could have both, that would probably be a really good option.
I know that you are an author. You've actually created a book. Can you tell me a little bit about your book and how it came about, please?
Yeah. So I wanted to do something to mark 10 years of being freelance, because it was one of those really surreal moments. I never wanted to be a freelancer. I never wanted to be self-employed. And all of a sudden I'm 10 years in. I have no idea how it happened. And I thought, okay, I'm going to I'm going to create a book and I'm going to share some really simple design tips so that people who might not necessarily be able to work with a designer on a regular basis, or people who just wanted to up their design skills a little bit, could have this book on their desk to refer to. And so I created Wise Words, and it's about 115 pages, just full of little design tips with examples written in plain English. And it was published in 2021. It was a little bit delayed because you know what personal projects are like. They're so hard. And I kept changing my mind about how the pages should look. Yeah. And also I am probably my own worst client because I kept changing my mind about how the pages should look inside and what I would include and what I wouldn't include. The paper decisions were the easiest decisions I've ever made, like deciding what the cover was going to be, deciding what the inner pages were going to be and how it was going to be bound. Those were the easy decisions. So yeah, I had 50 copies of it printed and they sold out in about 4 or 5 months, which I wasn't expecting.
That's fantastic. That's brilliant.
Yeah. And I then had people sort of saying, oh, I missed out on buying it. Do you have a digital copy available? Or do you have any other, have you got plans to have any other copies printed? And my answer was no, I don't. And then I got asked so many times that I thought, do you know what? I'll upload it to KDP. So it's available on Amazon print on demand. And I will also have a digital copy of it that people can buy.
That's amazing. That's so cool. So I didn't know that so people could still buy this book. You have not told us about this.
And do you know why you didn't know about it?
This is another place where you need to show up and show off about it.
I was going to say, you don't know about it because I don't talk about it. Yeah. I don't let people know.
Okay, so I think, all right, Bhavini, for your class today, the homework will be...
Yes. What is my homework?
To put this on LinkedIn.
Okay. LinkedIn.
That's brilliant.
Right.
So people, we're going to put the link in the show notes so you can get downloads or buy your own copy from Amazon print on demand.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea. Because the book is lovely. I have got a copy and it's a cute little square shape.
No,
it's just really nice.
It is. I wanted something different. Yeah.
It's not a big size. It's kind of like a half.
No.
I'd say A6 but squarish, but square. A6 but square.
Yeah. A6 square.
That makes sense in the print world, doesn't it? We know what we're talking about.
It does. We know what we mean.
Thank you for telling us about your book, Bhavini. Honestly, that's
a
creative piece of work that you've created by yourself, which is, not an easy feat, especially when you're working for clients. So well done.
Yeah, it was hard, but I did it. And I think it's probably the hardest, but the project that I feel most proud of.
Brilliant.
Because it was so hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's yours. It's your name on
it's mine. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhavini, for being here today. I've really enjoyed our chats and I'll put all your details into the show notes and people can find out where they can find you. But if you'd like to tell them now, we might as well do it verbally. Let's do it now.
Okay. Well, firstly, thank you for having me. I've had a lot of fun chatting with you. You can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram and Facebook as B81 Designs, and my website is b81designs.com.
Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't ask you. Why did you choose B80?
Because B for Bhavini and 81 is the year I was born.
Oh,
and it was simple as when I was, I think maybe 16 or 17, I used to work in a call centre and it was for Abbey National, Santander now, but Abbey National. And you'd have to answer the phones and say, hi, welcome to Abbey National Card Services. You're speaking to Bhavini. How can I help you? And the person on the other end of the phone would call me Veronica or Verity or Brittany or Bethany or whatever else.
But not Bhavini.
But not Bhavini, because nobody could say it. So when I started freelancing, I was determined not to use my name. And I like that. I like that B81 is still quite personal to me.
Yeah.
But everybody can say it.
It's so interesting, isn't it? About names. Because I think if people don't feel confident or just think, I think I've seen it in films once too, where a girl's name, I think she had, I can't remember what it was. It was either an African name or an Eastern European name. And the coach refused to call her by her name and just made up another name like Julie. And it was just like, my name's not Julie. It was just like he refused to actually get her name correctly and he just couldn't be bothered. And that's kind of sad because that is your name. But
it is. Yeah, it is.
The world we live in, eh?
It is.
quite
It
similar,
is.
but
It is the world we live
yeah,
in.
yeah.
There you go.
I call you B
That's my
anyway.
simple reason. Yeah, I know. And I don't mind. So people call me B, some people call me Bav, and I'm happy with that. Absolutely love it. But yeah, at the time, 13 years ago, it was the easy decision to go with B81.
Brilliant. Bhavini, thank you so much for joining me today. I
Thank
really enjoyed
you.
it. So have a great rest of the
You
day
too.
and speak soon.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Let me start by giving thanks. Thank you for tuning in to Creatives Like Us. I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it thought-provoking, inspiring and entertaining. If you did, it would absolutely make my day if you could share, subscribe, rate, review, wherever you get your podcast from. Also, if you have a question or a comment, I'd love to hear from you. All the ways to connect are in the notes. Until next time, keep being creative like us.